Are you familiar with the question, how did Uber break the industry? Well, it all comes down to one simple idea, turning a phone into a ride-hailing machine. Today, that idea powers 23 million rides every day across 10,500 cities. But the journey to get there? It was anything but smooth. Let's dig in. Before Uber, getting a ride felt like a game of luck. You'd stand on a curb waving at taxis, hoping one would stop. Or you'd call a dispatcher and hear, no cars available, payments, cash only, no tracking, no convenience, just frustration. But in 2009, two entrepreneurs from San Francisco decided to change all that. Garrett Camp and Travis Kalanick imagined a world where a ride was just a tap away. It sounded crazy then, but that wild idea became Uber. And when it hit the streets, the taxi industry didn't just get nervous, it went to war. Protests, lawsuits, even government crackdowns, nothing could stop Uber's rise. So, how did a tiny startup rewrite the rules and leave traditional taxis in the dust? Let's find out. The broken taxi system. Taxis were once the heartbeat of city life, your go-to when you needed a quick ride across town. But by the 2000s, that heartbeat had slowed. The system was clunky, overpriced, and frustratingly outdated. In places like New York City, taxi medallions, those little metal plates that gave cabs permission to operate, were selling for over $1 million. Yes, $1 million just to drive a taxi. Drivers were stuck in a vicious cycle, working exhausting shifts just to cover the cost. Meanwhile, passengers were left standing in the rain, waving hopelessly at taxis that never stopped. And when did you finally get a cab? The fares were steep, the service unpredictable, and payment cash only. The industry was protected by layers of regulations that kept competition out. It was a broken system, but no one dared to fix it until Uber showed up. Armed with a simple app and a bold idea, Uber didn't just enter the game, it rewrote the rules. With one tap, you could summon a ride, track it in real time, and pay digitally. Convenience became Uber's secret weapon. And the old industry? It never saw the disruption coming. The birth of Uber. Uber's journey is nothing short of a thrilling ride. It all started in 2009 when Garrett Camp and Travis Kalanick had a lightbulb moment in San Francisco, giving birth to what was initially called Uber Cab. Picture this. It's a chilly night in Paris, and Garrett Camp is stranded, unable to find a cab. Frustrated, he thinks, what if, instead of waving my arm for a taxi, I could just summon one with my phone? That spark of inspiration was the beginning of something big. With the launch of the Uber app in 2010, users could summon a ride right from their smartphones, revolutionizing the way we think about transportation. It was like magic. Tap a button, and a car would arrive at your doorstep. Fast forward to 2011, when Uber made its bold leap into the bustling streets of New York City, proving that it was ready to take on the world. But the real game changer came in 2012 with the introduction of UberX. Suddenly, anyone with a car could become a driver, making rides more affordable and accessible to everyone. This move not only expanded Uber's reach, but also transformed the entire transportation landscape, giving birth to the ride-sharing phenomenon we know today. By 2014, Uber was a household name, boasting a staggering valuation of $18 billion. It was clear that this was more than just a trend, it was a movement. As the company expanded globally, it faced its fair share of challenges, from regulatory battles to fierce competition. Yet, Uber continued to innovate, adapting to the changing landscape, especially during the pandemic when it pivoted to enhance its delivery services through Uber Eats. Now, as it explores exciting ventures like electric vehicles and autonomous driving, Uber remains at the forefront of transportation technology, proving that the journey is far from over, the nightmare of industry. The rise of Uber in 2011 changed everything for the taxi industry, creating a storm that many didn't see coming. As Uber dropped the cab from its name and spread around the world, taxi drivers felt like their jobs were under threat. Protests broke out in big cities like London, Paris, and New York, where angry drivers shouted, "Stop Uber!" Their frustration was clear. Uber was playing by a different set of rules, skipping the regulations that taxi companies had followed for years. What made Uber unique was how it operated. Unlike traditional taxi companies that owned their cars and hired drivers, Uber connected passengers with drivers who worked as independent contractors. This allowed Uber to save money by avoiding costs things like insurance and benefits. While Uber called this a smart innovation that gave drivers flexibility, many people saw it as unfair and exploitative, putting pressure on those who relied on the taxi system for their livelihood. This clash between traditional taxis and Uber was more than just a business fight. It was about how we think about getting around our cities. As Uber kept growing, the taxi industry had to face tough questions about fairness, regulation, and what the future of transportation would look like. The tension was real, and how this situation played out would change how we all travel for years to come. And the big thing? Uber was growing fast, but behind the scenes, things were getting messy. In 2017, co-founder and CEO Travis Kalanick resigned, a surprise that shook the company. Why did he step down? Well, Uber faced a lot of problems. Reports of a toxic work environment, fights with regulators, and unhappy investors. The pressure became too much, and Kalanick left the driver's seat. His exit was a big moment for Uber, a reminder that even the fastest-growing companies need to hit the brakes and fix what's broken, the secret of Uber's growth. So what made Uber such a big deal? It all comes down to three words: surge, pricing, algorithm. Uber was super smart with how it used real-time data to change prices based on how many people needed rides. When demand was high, like during rush hour, bad weather, or big events, prices would go up. Sure, riders had to pay more, but drivers rushed to hit the streets to take advantage of those higher fares. It was a bold strategy, and even though some customers grumbled about the costs, most couldn't help but love the convenience. This pricing strategy turned Uber into something more than just a ride-hailing app. It became addictive. People didn't just order a ride anymore. They Ubered to dinner, work, or the airport. Just like how Google is now the go-to name for searching online, Uber became the name everyone associated with getting around. And the numbers behind Uber's growth? Absolutely mind-blowing. By 2021, Uber had 118 million users worldwide, regular folks using their phones to get around cities with ease. Meanwhile, 5 million drivers were working behind the scenes, completing nearly 23 million rides every single day. When it came to market dominance, Uber didn't just play the game, it dominated it. In the US, Uber had a whopping 68% share of the rideshare market, leaving traditional taxis and even competitors like Lyft scrambling to keep up. With $17.4 billion in revenue that year alone, Uber showed that a little innovation and bending the rules could completely change the game in an entire industry. The future of Uber. So, what's next for Uber? Well, the ride isn't over yet. Today, Uber is much more than just a ride-hailing app. It now operates in over 70 countries and has expanded into new areas, from Uber Eats delivering your favorite meals to Uber Freight, moving goods across cities, and even working on self-driving cars. Uber is always looking for what's next. But here's a big question. Is Uber really a smart innovator, or just a company that broke the rules to get ahead? Governments are introducing stricter rules, and many drivers are protesting for better pay and rights. Meanwhile, competitors like Lyft, Bolt, and Grab are catching up. So, can Uber continue to grow while keeping drivers and customers happy? Or will it lose its top spot as others step in? Time will tell. But one thing is clear, Uber has changed how we move forever. And wherever the road takes it next, the world will be watching. And that's a wrap. What do you think? Did Uber genuinely innovate, or just game the system? Is it the hero that modernized transportation, or the villain that exploited workers? So let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep exploration, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.